Yeah, just to give you a little anecdote actually on why we're here and the thing about crunch. Crunch is hard on everybody, at work. But not only, is it nice to have, all that you have around here, and being able to go out, but the ease of services here makes it so easy for us to have everything delivered to us. I mean, we cater food every night for the guys at work because we have to, make sure that they can take a break and they can eat something before going back to work. We're putting 16-hour days, 7 days a week right now. It's hard. So, more than anything, it's easy for us to be next to the spectrum, having all the restaurants that we have. You want to go see a movie, you just step out, take a 2-hour break, go see a movie. I mean, all of these we take for granted because we don't think of those as work necessities for work. But in our environment, in our business, they're absolute necessities for our work. We need everything, all the distractions that are out there, we need them for the kind of work we do. We need them to actually let our people grow, let them be happy, and let them want to stay in this industry. Otherwise, they'll probably run off and do something else with in some completely different thing. Last thing that I was going to say was a question that keeps on getting asked to us, not only by our landlords, but what we would like to see happen. It's always something I think that businesses think of. It's what do you do from here? It's one thing for you to grow and make your decision. It's another thing for people around you to be able to help you grow your business. And not only do the business interactions here help each other grow, but the city itself, I think, is at this point where there are so many businesses here that at one point or the other, we are also looking to see where, I think all of us as gamers and game developers can be heard, can be, we can get facilities that we're seeking. For example, the broadband, market is getting bigger and bigger. But as you see that happen, just like for this broadcast, it's very hard to find a way to broadcast this easily, around not only locally but around the world. It's the same struggles that we're going to have. How easy is it going to be if you run a game now? That runs, something that runs on PS3 or 360 that's very complex. How easy is it to run real time, over the network, that's being provided? I think there's a lot of requests that would come, that there are financial ones, I'm sure that, plenty of business owners want, tax breaks, this, that. I mean, we do get that with the R&D tax break that we have here. But I know more and more that a lot of developers here and a lot of CEOs and executives in the game industry are looking to see what can help their everyday work, and what can help them and what can be provided, especially by the city and by the county of Orange, to do our work better and to, in some ways, ease our worries also. With that said, I think that's everything I have. I kind of went through it pretty fast, but if you have any questions, please. I think that, funnily enough, there's one game that's already done it. It's not just segregating, the advertising to some small, section of the game. It's really about making that part of the world that you are in. Let's say you do a modern, like Call of Duty, a modern warfare game. You do something in the future. The question is, if you're creating your world around the world that we live in, we can't get away from advertising. Advertising is part of everything that we do. I drive here, I mean, I don't know how many billboards I have to see, whether it's movies or products or anything like that. Need for Speed, I think it was Need for Speed Underground, had one really cool ad actually that they put up. It was during the presidential campaign. They had an Obama ad, We Can Change, up on one of their billboards as you were driving your car inside the game. I mean, this is not just about, like I said, it's not just about advertising a product. It's something that changes. That same ad is going to be something different the next time you play. The point here is really to integrate the life that we have outside into what we do online. In social gaming right now, most of the revenue comes from ads, but that's not really integrating the ads inside the game. That's more like what's around it, what's there to click on, basically. What I'm talking about is really, that life that you're so accustomed to today. Why not bringing it in and as much of it as possible into the, the 3D world that we create and give you something that you're familiar with. And that also helps us make games, because how better to do a realistic game than to actually replicate the world that we have outside. You'll see it more and more, I think, as you keep on playing games nowadays. Again, a question that's being asked a lot to us. It's yeah. Well, for us, I love social gaming. I think it's something that I play. It's not necessarily something I want to develop for. There's a simple reason for that. I think we view ourselves like the movie industry in some ways or the other. There's room to make small movies. There's room to make big movies. Not everybody should be making small movies. Would be kind of dumb to ask, Christopher Nolan, to go ahead and, hey, why don't you make this small, indie documentary, when you know that he's capable of basically bringing a big audience and to see his movies. There's room for everybody. We have a lot of growth left to do. I think we are still in our infancy. As much as the money generated is high, like I said, the audience is small. The market penetration right now, we have, I believe, somewhere around 30 to 35 million PS3s sold worldwide, and that's worldwide. That's not even the United States. When you look at the market that's available and the market penetration we have, it's so tiny that we love the fact that this industry is growing. The selfish thing about the social gaming part is that why I love it is not only because I like playing it, it's because the social gamers of today are going to be the hardcore gamers of tomorrow. The guys who are playing, Farmville today, one day or the other are going to go, I wonder, I'm playing this game, it's free on Facebook. I'm wondering if I can pay small game, maybe $9.99. I'm just going to go buy that game and see how it is. If that pleases them, why not go, another step and buy another game? So for me, it's actually a little selfish, in some ways to love the fact that social gaming is there, but it's definitely not something for us. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of more people doing that, but we don't want to shift focus. Absolutely. Actually, that's funny that you say that. The game we're currently working on has gone from, normally we do, I would say 7 languages overall. I think there's 12 on the current one, and there's languages being added on all the time. You used to do English for North America, EFIGS for Europe, which is English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish. That's for Europe. And you do Korean and Japanese, usually down, for Asia. But usually the English game will be sold everywhere else. For the first time this year, and I think it started probably last year, but the North American SKU of the game is going to carry English, French, and Spanish for not only the Canadian market with French, but the Spanish market with Spanish, and also the American market with both languages. In Europe, we've just added Polish and Russian. And I think Swedish is in there too. I'm not sure. I don't take my word for this, but yeah, absolutely. There is growth, and I think that every time we're going to release a game, I wouldn't be surprised that every time we're going to have a new language. The sad part about it is that there's not enough space on the disk to put all the languages.